Before we start with our session for today, which is law as a career, we would like to share an insight about our project, that is Shikshan, which is typically education and learning and upskilling yourself. And the reason we are educating, learning the knowledge that we want to, and upskilling ourselves is to basically transform ourselves, to help uplift ourselves in whatever we do, uplift all of us as a community together. And this is an initiative which has been started by the MGP, the Mobai Gaothan Panchayat. And you see me, Alistair, we are here taking help from people, or our guest speaker like Advocate Darryl Pereira, and taking experiences of these learned and well-experienced people to get all of that, whatever could help you in making a decision towards your career as well. So the entire project revolves around how we can help our community and our young generation to understand, guide, and give them any counseling possibly, or some information which may help them make the right decision from their career perspective. So that's why we are here with this project that is called Shikshan. This is one of our sessions that we have done. We have our earlier sessions done on career planning, on entrepreneurship as a career, and those are there on our YouTube link. We can share those with you later. And today's session is also being recorded. So in case anybody has missed and you would like to recommend them to listen into this recording will be available on the MGP side, so people can listen in and hear into the session. With this, I will start off with our session for today, which is career in law. And the agenda will be about introduction. The first part of the agenda will be introduction of our guest speaker, and I'll hand it over to Alistair while we do that. And then we will move into law from a career perspective, life of a lawyer, and we have our guest speaker, Advocate Darryl Pereira, to talk about and share his experiences with us. These are, I would say, so much valuable experiences. I would say that these are life experiences which one can learn from, one can take more guidance from. So that's why we're going to talk about this. And from a career perspective, what are the options one has once you are actually taking this as a career and deep diving into it? What do I do? How do I go about it? And what are the possible options that I have in terms of career, in terms of work life, in terms of monetary expectations? All of those will be covered as well. Also opportunities internationally, and I'm going to emphasize on this as well, because our guest speaker, Advocate Darryl Pereira, has international experience of work. He travels across and has global experience, and this is something that you could actually ask and get guidance from, so that you might want to explore and get exposure if you want to pursue this as a career, or want to share this with someone else who wants to pursue this as a career. It could be your family member, it could be for yourself, it could be for anyone. So with this, I want to start off, but before we start off, a little bit of guidelines to follow. So if you can see the screen, on the Zoom session, we would like everybody to click on the mute button and mute yourselves, so that the session could be calm and it would help avoid the background noise. We have a Zoom chat available to interact and ask questions. So please use those Zoom session interacting chat to ask questions, answer, or raise hands and give even your reactions. So anything that you want to raise hand and you want to ask, you want to be vocal and speak about it. You don't need to type it out. You can even speak and ask your question And if you like something and if you're happy with something, please give us your reactions, because this is going to help us uh, to understand and get more feedback from yourselves. So this is the guideline, and I will now hand it over to Alistair for a quick introduction of our guest speaker. We will not be doing presentations today. It's going to be more of an interactive session with Advocate Darryl Pereira, answering your questions if you may have, and giving you guidelines and tips of how you could be successful in this career. So over to you, Alistair.
Hi, thank you so much, Zenobia. Friends, a very good morning to all the participants, ladies and gentlemen, and our future, the future of tomorrow, the Gen X or the millennials, the students that are there. So a very warm welcome to all of you all. And on behalf of the Shikshan team at Mobai Gaothan Panchayat, I thank you all for taking our time and attending this session in which we are having one of our esteemed guest speakers. And to introduce to you our guest speaker for today is Mr. Advocate Darryl Pereira, who is an astute professional with over 25 years of international legal experience. His work experience and work exposure include managing a vast array of global legal issues, special projects, financial agreements, negotiating contracts, legal due diligence, and risk management. He has also been working on statutory compliance, infrastructure issues, developing policies and procedures, standardizing documentation and process, and he advises on development in law and its impacts on business litigation, including arbitration process. So, Advocate Darryl Pereira, can we all show appreciation and either clap or wave out to Advocate, please?
You are on the spotlight.
Thank you.
So thank you so much, Advocate Darryl Pereira, for joining us. This is your show, and when we were discussing, Darryl sir told us, I'm not going to go ahead and have any presentation. I don't believe in this computer because he has a supercomputer here. So over to you and your supercomputer, sir.
Good morning to all the participants. Firstly, let me thank you, Zenobia, for taking this initiative. The MGP is really doing, and guys, you must participate a lot in these programs that the MGP is holding on. Whatever be the subject, it's something very innovative. It's like the need of the hour. Law as a subject, yes, but as time passes, we'll even go down to subjects in law, branches in law to talk and educate, whether it be contracts, documentations, wills, properties, whatever it be. But please participate and get your friends and families all get, it's like the need of the hour. As introduced, I am going very informally in this. So please feel free to talk, raise your queries, raise your concerns. I'll try my best to give you the answer from my experience that the little limited experience that I've had on different continents. I'll share it with you. To start with, how important is law? Law as a nomenclature got into existence even before mankind. If you see Genesis, when God was in the midst of creation, he rested on the seventh day. And that seventh day today, if you see even your Shops and Establishments Act, talks about the seventh day being a day of rest. That was even before Adam and Eve. So you can imagine the importance of law, the nomenclature of law, which came down from creation. And therefore, law as a subject has evolved in various facets. Now, going straight off, especially the younger generation, you guys get very intrigued seeing court case dramas, looking at various court case matters going on in movies and various. Don't equate that at the same thing at law. But if you have an inclination, develop it from the earliest stage. Develop your inclination towards law. Start off from that. Show your interest. And then as we go forward, let us look at the opportunities that come in. Law does not mean only arguing in court. Okay. Arguing in court is only one part, one branch of it. There are various kinds of activities one can do in law. Many times I've seen youngsters who join me, they fade away. They get cold feet. Oh, I can't argue in court. Oh, I'm not meant for court. Please, don't draw a line. Plunge. If you're driven, if you have a passion towards the subject, get into it, understand it. Now to start off, many times we also have this fear factor, oh, I don't have a godfather. Many of you join law colleges, you'll get into law colleges, and then you see everyone around you have their grandfathers, grandmothers, all into law, all senior lawyers, and you feel left off. Please don't develop that kind of a cold feet. I come from a family with no lawyers. Everyone around me in college, all had around, but I was blind to that. At the earliest, and this is the pinpoint that I want to give you, catch a senior at the earliest. Catch a good senior at the earliest, even if you're in college. Even if you're in college, please catch a senior and stick to him. That is the first secret of success. Yes, it's going to be tough. Yes, it's difficult to adjust between work and studies. But balance it. You have to balance it. A negativity that I must tell you. The initial years will give you very low income. Let remuneration not be your focus. Drive it completely through your passion and take it forward. What are the opportunities that you can get? See, today, if you open any newspaper, you will see right from the first page to the last page, there is something or the other on law stated. The biggest issues that you have seen this country burning in the Ayodhya issue. Who resolved it? It was the courts. You can see in various matters, ultimately, the recent farmers issue which is going on, the courts have intervened. So you can see the value that law brings in. Law plays a major role in maintaining some kind of democracy, maintaining some kind of decorum. Drive yourself towards that passion and look at it. Now, to show you opportunities, you see any finance minister from the time this country got independence. Every finance minister in this country is a lawyer. Every finance minister has got a strong law background and has been leading lawyers. Mr. Chidambaram, Arun Jaitley, whoever you name it. They all have a background with finance, with law as their prime background and finance as their portfolio. So therefore, my friends, looking at opportunities, it's an ocean. Law as a subject is an ocean. Now, when you start off as a student, I'm not sure how many of you are yet students, but I'm just starting off from that side. When you start off as a student, the first dilemma that hits you is, oh, I finished my 12th standard, what do I do? Should I get into a 5-year course or should I get into a degree and then get into a 3-year course? Difficult choice. You have to decide what kind of facet you want to get into. If you want to get into the financial side, you want to get into the corporate side, maybe a good idea to do a BCom, then get into it. But let that not be, that is your personal decision whether you want to do a 3-year course or a 5-year course. Both are equally good. Both are competitive, both are equally good. Today, the in thing is doing the 5-year course. But whichever course you do, let me tell you one important thing here. Your initial first 10 years, keep it completely in accumulating the maximum qualifications you can get. Do small time courses, do degrees, do diplomas, do diploma in IPR, do a diploma in labor welfare, do a diploma in HR laws. Accumulate it. Why? The learning facet is kept on. Your thinking process of learning continues. Because the moment you keep that line on, the moment you keep that learning exercise on, you will develop it right through your career, because law as a subject cannot make you take a laid back approach. You cannot sit back and say, oh, now I've studied, now my day is done. Every day is a learning exercise. You have to read, learn every day. So the moment you decide to get into this profession, you must be open to learn. Learning right through, right to your last day, to your last start, to your last breath. Because this profession has no retirement. So therefore, keep an open mind, keep learning as a frontline word, and then plunge into it. An important question which was raised to me is what is the kind of remuneration? Don't get into that. Remuneration was always low. Good lawyers are chaste. Don't say this is my yardstick. I don't look at remuneration as my goal. You will be chased wherever you are if you do well. You will be chased wherever you are for issues to be handled. You need to take that decision. Don't keep remuneration as my frontline goal. But I must warn you one important thing. Initial first 12 to 15 years, remuneration is rock bottom. Remuneration is rock bottom. If you are looking at independent practice, if someone wants to join a corporate, wants to join a company, that's a different question. But both sides have a pros and cons. What are these pros and cons? If you join a company, you will start off with a better package, maybe 5 times, maybe even 10 times more than someone who joins a law firm. Maybe 10 times more than someone who joins a lawyer. But if you see the growth path and you see the graph, professionally, the growth curve immediately takes a straight turn upward. While in the corporate, it goes at 10%, 12%, whatever it be. So that is the way I look at it. Don't give remuneration as your front line. Your hard work will speak for itself. Your dedication, your commitment, the way you go about it itself will give you the desired result. Now, from a career progression, law as a subject can create a lot of confusions. You may start off and say, oh, I want to argue in court. I want to be a lawyer because I can see that guy, he's excellent. You see some good movie and see some excellent acting done by Amitabh Bachchan in Pink and you say, I want to be a lawyer of that caliber. Not easy. Not easy. Let's be frank about it. Let's be straight about it. Why? Standing up in court is not a morning's job. Pursue your dream, but don't think it should come on day one. Let opportunities come down their path. You focus on that, take support, take help, use good seniors, and then plunge. When you start your career, go about it with an open mind, because let's be fair about one thing. All of us think lawyers are jack of all trades. We think lawyers know everything in the world. Whether it be anything on medical, whether it be science, whether it be finance, whether it be anything, you think the lawyer knows everything. And you can't change this mindset of a human being. So therefore, you have to be a jack of all trades. Please remember this word, you have to be a jack of all trades. So what do you mean by that? Keep reading. Keep looking at everything. You may have your specialization. Someone may say, I want criminal law. Again, criminal law has branches. Criminal law could be, I want to do only murder trials. I want to do only custom-related matters in criminal issues. I want to be a government pleader and handle only this kind of work. I want to be a trial court lawyer. Again, there are different avenues within that small gambit of criminal law. You want to do corporate law. Corporate law, again, has various facets and branches within it. You want to be a counsel to argue in court, that is one side of it. You want to do only mergers and acquisitions, that's the other side of it. You want to do only arbitration, that's another part of it. You want to do only international contracts, that's another part of it. You want to do only SEBI related issues, you want to do only stock exchange related matters, another part of it. So it's confusing. It's really confusing. But as a student, as a youngster getting into it, don't lay your path right from day one. I want to get only in the, yeah, drive your passion. That is your passion. But give it an opportunity as you go step by step into the progression in the profession. Why? Because if you decide I want to do only that part of it, tomorrow you turn around and you say I want to do only NCLT matters, and tomorrow NCLT is shut down, the courts are shut down, it is merged into the Bombay High Court, it's moved into the High Court. What happens? Your entire game plan changes. NCLT is formed only now in 2016. So suppose if you say I want to do only that part of it, I want to do only DRT issues, or I want to do only this part of it. Don't drive your passion, but let that not be your goal completely. Drive it with patience. So therefore, career progression should go as you take one day at a time in the profession. What is life as a lawyer? Life as a lawyer is honestly good. It is not what you think, like a doctor where you have to be on 24/7 calls. Life as a lawyer is excellent. Okay, let me be honest about it. You need to make it excellent. How do you make it excellent? With your passion, enjoying every bit of it. You can't win all matters, but at the same time, you can't lose all matters. So therefore, let not stress and depression be the center of your activity. Let it be as it comes. Enjoy it. At the end of the day, forget it. That is the secret. One has to get to make life as a lawyer exciting. There are challenges, but let challenges not overcome you. Let your passion be your winner. So that's the way I would put it at. Now I'll give you certain tips how to be a successful lawyer. Number one, read, and read. Start with your morning newspaper. Please read your morning newspaper devoutedly. Every subject, including sports, including the stock market, including business, including crime. Even if that's not your line, please read. Be part of knowledge groups which share knowledge, not just crap here. Get into good groups, get into lawyers of different courts of different avenues, and share that. Read. I end my day with my messages that I see from different groups and those are from that. That is the best way, because knowledge is so vast, you'll never be able to say I finished. So reading. Be well read with all legal happenings, whether it be politics, whether it be whatever it be. Just read it. You need not read the whole article, but at least read 1 to 2 paragraphs of it with the headlines. Just read it. You do not know when and what will be useful for you. Most important. Don't chase money. Very important tip. Many people fail because of that. As I explained to you earlier, it is going to be tough in the initial years. It is going to be very tough in the initial years. But it won't last forever. The moment you set your mark, don't get worried that I don't have a godfather. Don't get worried. Your work will speak for itself. People with godfathers are not successful. Many of them, if you see, they have not turned out to be successful. What is the ratio of successful lawyers? See how many of them who have had godfathers have really reached the top. I'm not saying they're not. There are. But let that not be your turning point. Let that not be your stress level. Oh, I don't have anyone. Your work will speak for itself. People will find you wherever you are. So my suggestion and request, don't let that perturb you. Okay. Very important secret. Please participate in everything. Participate in every activity, whether it be in your building, whether it be in your zone, whether it be in your parish groups, whatever it be in your college, whether it mean whatever it be. Participating does not mean leading. Participation will give you various skills. A skill to be a successful professional is leadership and entrepreneurship. It doesn't come by just studying MBAs. You don't become a leader because you have studied some management course. You don't develop entrepreneurship just because you have gone for some training. It comes from participation. How many of us really are into that? Develop that skill of leadership and entrepreneurship by participating. Participate in every small little thing. Just last week we had the kite flying day. Participate kite flying in your area. Call all your aunties, uncles, everyone. Fly kites. You see the enjoyment you will bring. Christmas is just over. If you had to organize some small little get-together, small little thing with involvement of everyone, these are little things. Develop the leadership and entrepreneurship by participating. Okay? And last, never criticize. Never criticize your senior. A job of a senior, whenever you join a senior, the job of the senior is to squeeze you till your last drop. Don't jump. Don't criticize. Take it. Carry across. You do not know when the fruits will fall. Always respect that. The more seniors you jump, the negativity is more. Join a senior who has multifacets. Join a senior who will give you opportunities both in terms of going into courts as well as working in chamber work. There are two kinds of things that happen in a profession. One is called litigation in court, one is called chamber work. Involve yourself in both. That will help you get into your career. That will help you plan yourself as to, yeah, this is what I want to do. Okay? This is how I would end with that. And now I will take up your question. I can see one question here which popped up on my screen in relation to the entrance exams, correct? Zinova, I'll pick up some of these questions.
Yeah, sure, please. First of all, thank you for a very good, insightful introduction and going through major points that we wanted to cover. I think the tips and things which you have shared are so insightful because you have worked deep down there. And after that experience that you had for 25 years, you can now define what can help anybody who's joining in now or is there halfway through or wants to do something more. How can they use these guidances, suggestions, tips from you to make themselves better, make a better version of themselves. So while they want to take this up as a career. So thank you so much for that. And yes, I'll be happy for you to take questions. I think the first question is there any entrance exam and do you recommend any good institutions for this one?
Yeah, Brian has asked this question. Is there any entrance exam? Yes, they have now started. During the time when I appeared in 92, I passed out in 92. At that stage, there were no entrance exams. Today, entrance exams has now become a mandate. So you have to do an entrance exam. That is only because they're trying to prune down, because there was a time when everyone was entering into law. So there are certain guidelines now laid down so that even the Bar Council is laying guidelines in terms of practice so that they don't have anyone and everyone just joining, everyone failing in everything else and then getting into law. So therefore, there is some strict dictum now. There is an entrance exam. But the second part of your question is very good. Do you recommend any good institutions? Now, are you referring to good institutions for entrance exams? Good institution for entrance exams, difficult for me to say because there are so many advertisements floating around. I don't see the need of you going for an joining an institution, but it's a personal decision. It's a personal decision, because whoever I know or whoever I have interacted with or who have joined me, I have never seen that they have joined any institution for training on an entrance exam. But it's each one's choice. There I won't comment. But after your entrance exams, in relation to joining a good college and institution, if you have a real strong desire and passion, please join the very best college. Don't compromise there. Seriously, I'll tell you, don't compromise there. Even if it means sacrificing a little bit from your work schedule, because if you join a good college, your exposure will increase your confidence level, because that is the hallmark. Because if you have a good foundation, if you develop a good foundation, no surprises will come up as you get into practice. Now, what do you mean by good college? I don't mean just by name. I mean, find out how the professors are. Do they conduct classes? Are they strict about classes and attendance? This is what I look at good institutions and good colleges. They should be strict about attendance. They should be strict about teaching. Subjects should not be taken for granted. Just because it is criminal law, it should not be taken for granted. Just because it is company law, it should not be taken for granted. There must be do that kind of homework. Because nowadays a lot of good colleges started. I've heard about Amity in Delhi, in Noida. They have become very strict. National Law College is very strict. So a couple of these good institutions, you get good quality. So my suggestion, join the very best. Another question that I can see here.
Darryl, sir?
Yep.
Can I just interject here? So
Yes.
For the previous question, the two entrance exams that are really well recognized across the board is CLAT and SLAT. These two are the entrance exams that are conducted, and they're conducted somewhere in the month of May. May is when they're conducted. So they really have great value for nearly 90% of the law colleges, except the CLAT score or the SLAT score. And then there are some colleges which have their own personal tests like Enlightened and other tests. But these are basic two tests. And a lot of people, especially from the Bihar, UP belt, the northern belt, which is like the hub for the lawyers, they normally go to NLI. So National Law Institute, that's what they normally prefer. That's it. Thank you.
Okay. Joanne Dharma has asked a question: which institution will be better, JLC or Advani? It's difficult to answer. Why? Because, as I just said, choosing an institution should be based on these criteria. How strict are they in attendance? How strict are they in terms of lecture delivery? Now, I'm a JLC product. Those days when we were in JLC, my God, they were massively strict. You couldn't bunk a single day. And they had tremendous activities, right from your moot courts, multiple moot courts, multiple seminars, programs, multiple legal aid clinics, participation within the city, outside the city. So all these things added to our growth. So look at an institution where the JLC or Advani continues with these programs. Having these moot courts, having these legal aid clinics where you are going out, meeting the poor people, helping them with different problems, gives you very, very different level of confidence professionally. So join institutions which have all activities, not just morning, go to college, attend it, go back, accumulate the degree and then start. Activities, as I said, will really strengthen you on a different platform completely. So therefore, choose your institution based on activities. Then so another question that I saw, I can't pick it up right here, was there are many who start at 50 years or whatever. Please, studying, whether it be 50 years, 60 years. I had one junior. I shouldn't say the word junior because I was barely 40 years and he was 70 years. But no, he wanted to join me at that stage and he was 70 years and I welcomed him and he brought so much of energy. So please don't look at age. I don't draw the line on your age. Don't say that, oh, I'm 70 and I can. No, please study. You'll bring a lot of value to your own society. You'll bring value to MJB. Participate, help them out in their property issues, helping down their members. Please help. Please study, and if you have the inclination, nothing to feel shy about. Go ahead. You don't get anyone, join me. No problem. Okay, I don't look at age. I look at your passion. So please, I encourage you. So therefore, this question from Brian, many citizens who are in their 50s are looking at studying law. Please go ahead. Any questions more? I can't pick the questions here now. Zenobia, any questions on your side?
I have one question from one person. I think, yeah, the same question that has come again is that people want to learn law from a knowledge perspective. Where do they start? Do they start by taking a profession or starting it as a career, as a professional course, or do they start with some books, if possible?
No, always start with the professional course and join us a chambers, join a lawyer's office. Always start with the professional course and join a lawyer's office, because it will give you a different insight. See, practice is different from what happens in the colleges. It's a pulse part variation, especially when you're at that age. If you're getting into studying and you want to join an office, join a lawyer's office who will give you a little bit of exposure, give you that respect, give you that opportunity. It need not be with that intent that you're looking at, okay, I want to stand up and argue before the Supreme Court. It may not be that kind of an approach, but drive your passion into it. Please, I encourage you. Don't feel disturbed on that point. Go ahead. Accumulate a degree, because that is what is important. Just reading a law book is like reading a novel. That won't help you. But you work in the lawyer's office, you study law seriously, it'll make a big impact. So please do that. And as I explained in my introduction, please accumulate degrees, even if it means small diplomas, even if it means small courses. Please continue accumulating it. Small courses on cyber law. Cyber law is the in thing today. Every small little thing today, what we have just had on this program, will bring cyber law into it. Okay. If one of you are well versed in cyber law, we immediately initiate with these characters. So accumulate. You do not know when and where and how all these, it's important in your daily teacup. Okay.
There are a few more questions coming up. I'll take them as they come up. For a 50-year-old, how does he go about studying if entrance is required?
Entrance is required. You have to go about it. No? As I told you, I have seen people, you can join an institute if you feel like, if you think you're competent. It's like even the IPS entrance. There are institutes today. Even during my time, there were no institutes. Today, to join a CS course or even a CS or a CA course, there are institutes today. Choice is yours on the entrance. There, I wouldn't say that join this coaching class or that coaching class on the entrance, but entrance is a mandate. But if there are institutes or colleges which have autonomous courses without the entrance, that is for you to take a call, whether your purpose of accumulating that degree is to ultimately practice or not. But if you ask me, I always say, go with the intent of practice. So accumulate a legitimate degree.
Okay.
Because knowledge is never lost and your passion is always welcome.
Correct. I think even when I did law, I did it from Thane Law College when I was living there in Mumbai. But I did it from Thane Law College because it was the evening college and I was working that time. So it helped me do that evening college. But when I did it, I think I graduated in 2016. Till then, we did not have the need of law for that matter. However, I think after that, the entrance exam for that matter. But after that, yes, the entrance exam started. So yes, it is now a requirement to do. Now, there's another question that we have, Advocate Pereira, is CS with law a good combination?
Very good combination. Very, very good combination. And especially if you're looking at an avenue in corporate law, excellent combination. You may also get exemptions in certain subjects if you have already accumulated the law degree. You study CS, you'll get exemptions. Even if you join a company, CS gives you a lot of support in your day-to-day function. Your understanding of compliance, because what is CS basically? There's a lot of compliance activity in that. So I personally encourage it.
Sure.
CS today is in India, it is mandatory to be a company secretary. You have to have the qualification of a CS. I must tell you some, one secret. I may be one of the first lawyers in India who was a company secretary of a UK-based company. Because under UK laws, a lawyer can be a company secretary. He need not have a CS qualification. I'm not a CS qualified person, but I have my passion towards it. And please, I encourage CS. I even encourage you doing your, at least your foundation course, even in CA, if you are pursuing a career in the corporate side. Because numbers, you're able to interpret numbers better. Because a lot of financial frauds today, a lot of economic offenses today is all related to numbers. No one can take you for a ride. Please do it. Silent.
Sorry, there was one more question, was if you can throw some light on the international exposure that you have had, and what is the exposure that one can get, and how can one get onto the international side of law from a career perspective? Because there are many people who like jobs which are traveling, which let them travel and move around. Yes, currently the situations are not the same like earlier, but whenever situations roll back to previously, those are things what people may want to know.
International law, the gate pass to international law is international arbitration. I got into international issues, international transactions. My gate pass was an arbitration which I did in New York. It was the very first call center litigation where I was representing the Tata Group, and the Tatas were sued in the US for $1 million. So that was the first time I got an insight, and that was immediately after the World Trade Center crash. That was around 2001, 2002, where I got a chance to see. Arbitration is the front line, because arbitration, you can always have a seat of arbitration in the Middle East, in Dubai, in New York, or various ways. So arbitration is the first entry. Another thing which I did, I got selected for a group in the Middle East, in Dubai, in the UAE. And I joined them on a contract for a year, predominantly because I saw the law of property changing. This was in the year 2007, 2008. And RERA was just entering into the Middle East. So that's why I took that opportunity and I joined, and I was with them. What gets you into international law is basically international transactions, telecom, IT. These are the two biggest transactions on the international front: cross-border deals, cross-border documentary work. There is nothing extraordinary that one has to study. Let me be honest, because you cannot practice in those countries. For international law, you can be an Indian lawyer and appear in New York, or even in the Middle East, or in the International Center for Arbitration. But if you want to practice in the UK, you want to practice in the US, then you need qualification from those courts. So when you say practice international exposure, international law, it is international transactions, M&As. I've done a major M&A in Africa, covering almost 15 countries. That was when Airtel took over Zion that day. So it is the nature of transactions which will give you the exposure. So how do you get into it? If you're into contract, if you're getting into contract negotiations, drafting of contracts, vetting of contracts, review of contracts, luck could strike you and you could get an international deal there. That international deal will take you through all corners of the world. And people look forward to Indian lawyers. Let me be upfront with all of you, please. They like our Indian lawyers, the way we negotiate, the way we review. They like the way we go down to grassroots level, to ground level. unlike how the Americans look at it, or how, how the British lawyers would look at it. So therefore, if one has that kind of inclination, develop that complete insight into contracts. You'll enjoy it. And that is your gate pass to international issues. And then litigation will automatically fall. But if you get international litigation, please remember you cannot appear in any international court because you need that local qualification. You cannot appear in New York, US, Turkey, any country, Australia, no country can you appear. You can only appear in international arbitration. Okay?
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that perspective. I think that was good because typically, whenever people look at law as a career, it's, corporate law or criminal law or civil law or, different streams that they may want to specialize. But international exposure through arbitration is something that is definitely a good exposure for many who may want to get into. I think from an international perspective, I think that's a thanks for sharing that. That really helps. Any other questions? Alistair, are you able to unmute yourself? Okay, hang on. I will ask you to unmute. Yes. I can unmute everyone because I feel currently the people that we have are all good people, possibly. Are you okay if I unmute everyone?
Yeah, go ahead. I'm okay even if those rogues join in.
We can start with a criminal case, cyber criminal case right away.
It is sad that this happened. This is the first time that has happened for our session. So maybe we will take note of this next time on. And
no, learn our lesson. The lesson is whenever, don't keep it freely open. Do it through the lobby system.
No, there was a lobby, but I thought there were genuine people coming in. So okay. I started admitting people. And then I said, there are too many people coming. So I kept on hold to see what the reaction was. And then I see, the chat was getting flooded, which was insane. So there were many others. It was still so many others in the lobby. And I had to just deny everyone one by one. If it was a little more freer, I think it would be really a mess. We would have to close the session down for now. Yes. But yeah, I'm going to allow...
You controlled it well.
Thank you. This is my first time. So I was like a little bit taken back. I'm like, what happened? Suddenly how come so many people? Anyways, this is a life learning lessons for all of us. And I'm going to ask...
Brian has raised his hand. I can see Brian raised his hand.
I've allowed anybody to go on unmute and ask questions. So we can go ahead with that.
Brian,
you can go ahead. You can unmute yourself and ask a question.
Okay. I have a question for Advocate Darryl. You are a dude, great, good, knowledgeable person I've ever known now on Zoom. I have two questions. Well, I'm associated with, on the commercial side, on the international, say, M&As, as well as new technology which is coming in, where people want to invest with the locals. Now, keeping this in mind, that we have a community who have also talented in taking this technology with them and starting in the industry here by getting themselves merged with the foreign, investor, whatever it is. Now, basically, in this, by your talk, I think we have to be educated in the Indian, the M&As, as well as the foreign funds coming in, and also the Indian policies. Now, there are many seniors who are into it, who are bankers, who are even engineers, who may not know much of law, but they would like to go into this to get the perspective of the knowledge, as you said. What is your take on it? How would you advise?
Very important question that you have raised in a transaction of this magnitude, because you have to see in this kind of a transaction whether the activity will be done in India or it will be done there. Is it technology being brought into India? To start with, corporate law is first, because we have stringent regulations under FEMA. Is foreign exchange coming into India? Is foreign exchange going out of India? If money is going out of India, then you require RBI permissions. So to get into this and to understand these facets, and especially when you said you have named an important thing, you've got ex-bankers, you've got senior people into it, you need to take advice. You need to approach a law firm. You need to approach a lawyer who understands this kind of a transaction so that you get your baseline do's and don'ts and your compliance. Most important word, compliance. Because you must know what are your compliances on an annual basis so that you are not in default. You may do everything fantastic, but at the end of the year, if you have to file your returns, you have to file a document before the Reserve Bank of India and you don't do it, then you'll be a defaulter. So therefore, you have to know your do's and don'ts, your compliances before you venture further. That's most important, right?
Thanks. Thanks very much.
Any other questions from anyone? Let me see. I have a direct question from one person. Going back to basics, how can we get in touch with a good senior practitioner without having any knowledge on the
How
law?
can you get into with a good? Sorry,
How
I
can
didn't
we
hear you.
get in touch with a good senior practitioner without having knowledge whether he's good or not?
See, many colleges do put up vacancies available with A, B, C, or D. Many institutions do put it up. I know Rizvi College has it, National College has it, Advani Law College, GLC has it. So that is how you get into it. And then you have to do a little background check, no? You have to do a little checkup. You have to do a little bit of a homework to understand what you're getting into. And always give the first 3 months your trial period and make it very clear with your senior. My first 3 months will be a trial and error period so that you know me better and I know you better. Be transparent right from the start, because this is professionalism. This is not like joining an ABC company. This is for your career. So if you're transparent from the beginning, okay, my first 3 months, so that you know me better as well, my competence, my capabilities, my passion, and I know you also better in terms of working style, in terms of whether I've chosen the right exposure that I want to be into. Because there are many times you may join someone and he's doing only property law, he's doing only small causes court law. And you may say, oh gosh, yeah, this is not my cup of tea. I don't want to do small causes court. Or someone doing only consumer cases. You may say, I don't want to do consumer cases. And then you walk out of it. And fine, you walk out with a golden handshake. Because this is professionalism. You do not know where you'll meet him. You do not know where he'll meet you. So keep it absolutely at the highest level. No hard feelings if you quit him in 3 months, because it's done with full spirit professionally.
Thank you. Another question. Is there a contract that a senior practitioner typically does with you whenever you join, or how does it work?
See, law firms have contracts. If you join a typical law firm, you join an AZB, you join Gaothan and Co., you join any of these leading law firms, they would have a document, a law firm. You join an individual lawyer, you join a counsel, it's all goodwill. It's all how you like him and he likes you. It's all an understanding, because it's professionalism. And respect and maintain that professionalism. Whatever it be, don't just walk out one fine morning. Do it exactly the way I've told you. Keep that professionalism to the highest level. This is professional work. You do not know on what platform you'll meet him. If you keep and maintain that respect, you will cherish it. So contracts is based on that particular organization or firm, but there is no hard and fast rule.
Right. I think we are at the hour or past that, behind our schedule for the session. And sorry for the inconveniences caused to all and for the one especially Advocate Darryl. I think, Alistair, I will hand it over to you if there are any further questions, or if there are anybody else on the Zoom session who wants to raise their hands, ask any questions, please feel free. If I see if there are some legitimate people coming in. I think if anybody tells me that they're legitimate, I can then come in. But I think we're at the top of the hour, so if there are anything. Alistair, go ahead.
Alice, you'll have to unmute.
Okay, cool. Thank you so much. What we will do is we will go ahead and call it a day for the session. But having said that, I think so, Advocate Darryl, it was a really insightful and enlightening session. And I'm sure taking off from here, once our participants go out and try to go ahead and figure out what you've said, the guidelines that you've given them, and they get their hands dirty, they will have a lot of questions. And we hope and we request you, in case we require another session, an advanced session maybe, for career in law, if you would oblige us with that, that'll be really nice. So Zenobia,
I'm always welcome. I'm always open to it.
so a big thank you, Darryl sir, for giving us your time. It was really insightful and really helpful for all of us. And we hope not only students, we thought it was a student-centric law course or law guidance or career guidance seminar that we're having. But I think so even a 55-year-old can, or age is just a number, I guess, at least when it comes to learning of law. So I think so that's really great. And I'd like to thank all the participants for being here, especially the entire Mobai Gaothan Panchayat team, Alfie D'Souza, Gleason Breto, Walter, for all their support. And a big thank you, I really mean it, for Zenobia, because Zenobia has been in touch with Advocate Darryl, and she's planned this entire event by herself. So a big thank you to Zenobia. And Zenobia, please take a bow. I tip my hat to you for the lovely, the way you organize it. Yes, we did have some problems in the webinar, but that's part and parcel of it. That's the con side of the technology advancement that we have. Anyone can say anything. It's a free world. It's a democratic world. But I guess, thank you so much, Advocate Darryl. As I normally believe, I always believe that advocates or lawyers are the architect of a republic, and especially a republic like us. Our country's blueprint is done by lawyers. So thank you so much for all your kind service, and we really appreciate you giving us time.
Thank you.
Zenobia, over to you.
Yeah, I would also want, or maybe ask for Advocate Darryl to share his email ID if he doesn't mind, so that.
That is a confidential check.
My email ID is very simple, darrylpereira@yahoo.com.
Okay. So if anybody wants to reach out to you and ask questions, they may reach out, and I hope nobody spams your inbox.
If anyone can't, you can mark a mail to us as well at the Mobai Gaothan Panchayat email address. So we'll also be glad to forward it to Darryl sir.
Sure.
Thank you, Zenobia. Thank you very much. Your perseverance is appreciated.
Thank you so much, everyone, for coming on this session. Really highly appreciate. We will take lessons learned from here and try to avoid them the next time. Thank you so much. Yep. Have a good rest of your day. Bye-bye.